warm-up 3-9, we're going to be dealing with separating and making sure you know the difference between all of these rules. The first one that we're looking at is an addition problem, a subtraction problem, and that subtraction problem right here between these parentheses means that we need to add the opposite. That means we need to take this and we need to change it to addition, and we need to change these, bless you, to the opposite of what they were to begin with. Originally the 4x was positive, so now it's going to be negative. Originally the 3 was a minus, so now it is going to be a plus. We have changed them to the opposite of what they were when we started the problem. You never change what's in front of that, you only change what's behind the sign. Once we do that, then we are going to combine like terms, and I'll highlight to do that. Y'all can circle, do whatever you need to do to be able to see that. We're going to combine the 5x and the negative 4x. Then we're going to combine the 2 and the 3. Guys, what's 5 and negative 4? Just the numbers. 1, and then we write 1x by just writing x. Then we're going to combine the 2 and the 3. 2 and 3 gives a total of 5. Since it's a positive number, you put a plus in front of it. That's it. You're done. You've simplified it as far as you can. That is subtracting binomials. Right? The next one is almost identical to it. Do y'all see this? I use the exact same numbers in them to try to make you see the difference between them. That was kind of the idea. The difference here is the only thing between the difference between this one and this one is that now we have a plus sign in the middle. When you have a plus sign in the middle, you don't change anything. All you do is combine like terms. And I'll go back here and I will highlight in the exact same way. The 5x and the 4x are going to go together. The 2 and the negative 3 are going to go together. It is going to give us a completely different answer because we're not adding the opposite. So when I combine the 5x and the 4x, that's going to give us 9x this time. When I combine the 2 and the negative 3, that's going to give us negative 1 or minus 1, depending on how you want to say it. And that is your final answer. Very different answer than the one before it. And you got to know the difference between the two. Hey guys, what's the next one going to be showing? What operation? Multiplication. It's multiplying a binomial times a binomial, which we are going to use FOIL for. I'm going to write it above it just so we remember what that's called. We are going to be FOILing this. How do we know to do that? Because the two parentheses are right next to each other. We are going to know the difference between those two things. So to FOIL this, you're going to multiply the first two. 5x times 4x is going to give you 20x squared. Then you're going to do the outer two. The outer two is going to be the 5x times the negative 3. 5x times the negative 3. When you multiply 5x times negative 3, it's going to give you negative 15x. The next ones that you're going to multiply are going to be the inner two. The inner two are going to be these right here. 2 times 4x is going to give you a total of 8x. And finally, our last two is going to be 2 times negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is going to put a minus 6 on the end. Now, unlike the other two problems, we are not done at this point. What do we still need to do? Combine like terms. So these two in the middle need to go together. They are both x's. We need to combine those. It's going to make it 20x squared. Negative 15 and positive 8 would give you what? Negative 7x. Perfect. Minus 6. And at that point, you have it in standard form, meaning it goes from the highest power down to the lowest power. We've combined everything that we combined, and it is simplified as far as it can possibly go. All right. The last one that we're going to do is going to be dealing with distributive property and then combining like terms. Two separate distributive, not one, not foiling, not this is distributive property followed by combining like terms. Before we get there, yes sir?
What is foiling?
Foiling, first, outer, inner, last. It's the acronym we use anytime we multiply a binomial times a binomial. It helps you remember to multiply the first two, so the 5x and the 4x, they're both the first in there. The outer two, the 5x and the 3 are on the outside. The inner two, the 2 and the 4x are on the inside. And then the last two in each parentheses would be the 2 and the negative 3. That's the last pair we multiply. Yeah. Okay, for the last one, again, distributive property followed by combined like terms. We're going to distribute across here. 3 times 5x is going to give you 15x plus 3 times 2 is going to give you 6. Now that's the first distributive property. Now you've got to move to the second one. You've got to deal with that multiplication before you try to add and subtract. So now the second one's going to be 2 times 4x, which is going to give you 8x. And then the 2 times the negative 3 is going to give you negative 6. Once you do that, you need to combine like terms, just like you did when you were back here on an addition problem. So we're going to combine the 5x and the 8x. Those two are going to go together. And we are going to combine our 6 and our negative 6. Now, something unique happens on the 6 and the negative 6. What does 6 and negative 6 do to each other? Cancels out. So this actually cancels out. And really all we're combining is the 15x and the 8x, which is going to give us 23x. Notice, guys, what don't I do? I never change the what when I add and subtract like terms. Exponents. I never change the exponents when I add and subtract like terms. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I multiplied the 5x times the 4x. That's what I'm doing, is first two multiplying together. 5 times 4 would be 20. And when you multiply like bases, you add their exponents. So a 1 and a 1 is a total of 2. Only when you're multiplying do you change the exponents. You never change it when you're adding and subtracting. Guys, those are the kind of detailed questions you need to ask.